From the bright lights between the ropes to the spotlight of the stage, we go behind the curtain of Kid Shamrock, the story of Bobby Cassidy, next on the Game 365. Sports and theatrics go hand in hand, but one could argue there is no athletic pursuit more apt to dramatic moments than boxing.
What a chin by Duddy! What a fight!
I guess it comes as no surprise then. A group of men that once traded barbs for a living are now exchanging lines in the Off-Broadway play Kid Shamrock, based on the life of boxer Bobby Cassidy.
So the second part again, yeah? One of those body shots. Plant your feet, man. Yeah? Plant your feet. Yeah?
Their director, Michael Bentt, is an accomplished actor who once was the WBO heavyweight champion. He is most famous for playing Sonny Liston in Michael Mann's film, Ali. Mike, how difficult or easy is it as a boxer to direct boxers?
Well, I think it's easy. Once you, because it's the same muscle. Just a different instrument. What's boxing is acting. Acting like you're not scared, acting like you're not hurt. Right? It's the same thing. Dig down deep, John. Expose yourself.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to be exposed. Yeah, go. To me, this is much harder than boxing.
Close my eyes and pray.
What he's doing now, he's revealing himself.
Every night in our house, it's Punch Out City.
Why are you saying that, John?
This is why I'm fighting.
Who are you confessing to?
Myself,
Okay.
God.
Okay. Speak that little 10-year-old boy in front of you. Okay? Speak to him. John Duddy connects to the words. It's not about the words on the page. I mean, it is. But also, an actor's material is his life. And there's nothing that's written that he can't relate to.
The first, I'd say, real bit of acting that I've done would have been to do with this play earlier in the year. And the fact that it's about a fighter coming to the crossroads in his life where he's not doing too well, he doesn't feel as passionate about the sport as he does, and he's thinking maybe of walking away from it. I found a lot of similarities in that from just walking away from the sport myself. But what I loved about the play is that when I was on stage, okay, I was wearing boxing gloves and a pair of shorts, which isn't too far from what I used to do, but having that light on you and having the attention of everyone in that hall looking at me, and I was like, yeah, I've been here before. This is kind of familiar.
To me, with theater, it's like boxing, except you just don't get hit. Once my adrenaline starts to go, that's it.
I'm sitting behind the curtain wasn't pulled. I'm sitting there on a stool, with all dark, the audience is out there, and the first thought in my head was, before the curtain got pulled, was, this is just like right before a fight. It's not as terrifying acting, you know, but also, I was probably a better fighter than an actor.
What would be the biggest thrill for you? I know this is tough. Being on the biggest theater on Broadway, doing this play, or fighting at the Garden as a kid?
It's much bigger fighting at the Garden. Nothing compares to that.
Acting may be a second choice for these former fighters, but that doesn't mean they are any less passionate about their current endeavor.
Who sent you?
Excuse me?
I can take care of your small needs right now. Bigger needs might take a little more time.
They can thank the main character's son for their roles. Bobby Cassidy Jr. was the one who decided to immortalize his father's story.
You know, growing up the son of a fighter, you know, I always listened to my dad's stories. And he had a very interesting and intriguing life inside the ring and outside the ring. He fought on several of Muhammad Ali's cards. He fought in the old Garden, the new Garden. He fought all over the world, was a ranked contender. And I would just listen to the stories. He'd either tell me or his friends or his trainers. I said, wow, this is something that I can put on paper, you know? So I finally got old enough to kind of put all these thoughts together, and you know, I made a career out of journalism, and I just basically wrote the play, and I could confidently say that 80% of the lines in this play, he's spoken one way or another to me, or to a friend, or to my brother. You know, I wrote it, but he said it.
The casting of the play, you got some professional fighters. How did that come about?
Well, I always felt that the people who could relate the most to my dad were other fighters. When I wrote the script, I passed it along to a few fighters, and their response was so positive. Every guy, Mark Breland, I want to be in your play. Michael Bentt, I would love to direct this play. Seamus McDonough, you know, as soon as he read it, he called me up. I would do anything to do this play. So John Duddy, same thing. Each guy had some kind of identification with the story.
Raising the curtain on Cassidy. That's next in the Game 365. Kid Shamrock features John Duddy as a young Bobby Cassidy and Seamus McDonough as the older version. But the former Southpaw himself also makes an appearance.
The images you see are snapshots of life, of perseverance. A life that is measured time in 3-minute increments. A life that has measured success in a volume of punches.
The play delves into bits and pieces of Cassidy's entire life. But one of the most important moments comes on a winter night at Madison Square Garden. On January 28, 1974, as the undercard for the legendary second fight between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, Bobby Cassidy fought for an opportunity every boxer dreams of.
Every fight was a build-up, and every win was a step up for him. And you know, the goal here is to fight for the title. I mean, that's what every fighter wants. So all I knew was this march to the title. You know, he'd become a contender, and now he gets the opportunity to fight on the Ali Frazier undercard, and the winner gets a shot at the title. So this, for us, for all of us, for the family, economically, it was a huge, huge opportunity.
The fight before Armada, I beat Jimmy Dupree, and he was a hell of a fighter. You know, the toughest guy I fought, maybe. And I beat him, and I fought him 3 times, but you know, it was like 3 wars. And I beat him, and I was ready to fight for the title then.
In a period of just over 3 months, Cassidy went from a dominant boxer who knocked Dupree down 3 times to a shadow of himself. He was knocked out just over 2 minutes into the 3rd round of his fight for a title shot. That night, Bobby says alcohol abuse finally took its toll.
2.5 years, 3 years of drinking incessantly, and everything just fell apart.
What started it?
Well, my mother and father both drank, alcoholics.
I went home that day and told my stepfather what happened to me. And he decided to beat me again. My mother comes home and she's drunk. She decides she wants to join the fight. She picked up a 5-pound weight, throws it at me. My mother turned on me. It was the biggest hurt of my life.
And I swore that I wasn't going to become one, like, right? And I did.
And the drinking was somewhat motivated by a divorce.
Correct.
How, as the son, do you digest that?
At the time, it was very hard. My parents got married very young, and my father was a fighter traveling all over the world, you know, fighting up and down the East Coast, but he fought in Rome, he fought in Sweden, he fought in South Africa. And all that time away just wasn't conducive for a marriage. And, you know, they were good about hiding it from us. we weren't really privy to the fights they were having or the disagreements they were having. But I guess at that point of his life, what he wasn't getting at home, he was getting from the bottle.
Don't celebrate too hard there, kid. If they too much of that stuff's no good for you.
You know something? I read, drinking too much booze will kill you. I think it was in your paper.
I said, what?
I read another day, smoking cigarettes will kill you too.
They sure will.
So I quit.
Quit what?
I quit reading your paper.
You're only a few blocks away from Madison Square Garden, where you could have embraced the greatest opportunity of your fight career.
The night at the Garden, when I come out, after I got stopped and everything, I wasn't even into it, you know. I was in another world. And I come out and I went across the street and there was this bar there. And I says, you just keep pouring them until I tell you not to. You know, I just drank about half a quart of scotch, whatever it was. I was drinking and I just went home. And I knew I blew it. I said, you really screwed yourself this time, you know?
The Turning Point. That's next on The Game 365. A successful boxer does not give up when the chips are down. And the morning after his biggest disappointment, Bobby Cassidy, a man who knocked out almost 35% of his professional opponents, once again started fighting.
I was going home from a place where I knocked out a couple of guys and everything. I was in a cab and I went home and I had to pick up my kids, right? I picked up my kids, like, you know, I was in some shape to pick up my kids, right? My pants were all ripped and everything. That morning I got home, I got on my knees in my bathroom, prayed to God. I haven't drank since.
You see this? It's the loneliest place in the world. No matter how many people come in and shake your hand and wish you luck, no matter how many people are out there screaming your name, you're alone.
I asked him about that night. I said, you know, God, what a terrible loss that was. You know, I feel so bad for you. And he said, don't feel bad for me. He goes, since that night, I've never had a drink. And so, you know, what you might look at on paper as such a loss, it really was the biggest win of his life.
The story of Bobby's plight and resurgence will surely resonate for many, but it might hit a bit harder for one particular cast member. Can you relate to Bobby?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm also a recovered alcoholic. I haven't drank in almost 16 years.
This play wasn't the force that pushed Seamus towards sobriety, but it seems fitting that this project has helped him strengthen his father-son relationship.
Right before the Holyfield fight, I was kind of angry at my dad, and he always came to calm me down before fights. He'd always come and calm me down, and I'd do much better. Before the Holyfield fight, he was trying to get to me, and I saw my managers blocking him. So I always felt, and I was kind of mad at him at the time over something, so I didn't say let him in, you know. So he didn't get to calm me down. Then I basically lost the Holyfield fight because I just got too nervous in the first round. But before this play went open in 2007, I'm backstage, nervous, and the knock comes to the door, and the security guard says, "No, you can't come in here. It's actors." It was my dad. So I said, "Let him in." So I let my dad in. And he comes up to me and he says, gives me the confidence only a dad can give you. He said to me, he says, if you forget a line, just make one up. I forgot a line and I made one up.
Did you?
I did. And it amended all that stuff from back in the day when I fought Holyfield. That didn't let him in to calm me down, you know, which is amazing that happened, you know.
Yeah, I am an happy connoisseur of the sweet science. And to me, in my humble opinion, you were one of the best that I've ever saw.
You got it wrong. I don't look like nobody. I'm a bouncer.
Bouncer? No, I know you are. You don't
got it wrong, buddy.
Wait, when I hide your identity with me, I know.
It was Madison Square Garden. The Garden. Not Sunnyside Gardens.
I knew it was you, man. I still remember that night. March 15th.
There's no doubt that the ability of these boxers to deal with pressure-packed situations can only help with their pursuit of acting. But will that alone be enough? It's interesting. A lot of athletes think about acting when they're done. Now, as far as the ability to act, how good are they?
I think some of them are real good, but you know what? I don't care how good they are. Honestly, I really don't. And maybe that's naive of me or short-sighted, but when I see these guys on the stage, they're basically fighting their heart out. They're out there giving it everything they can, and I don't care. You know, to me, and I think the people who've seen the play, they appreciate that most of these guys on that stage are fighters, and they're out there just doing their thing, giving it their all, just like they did in the ring. It's really the same thing for them.
Are they being taught the art of acting while they're doing the play?
Yeah. Michael Bentt, our director, has studied extensively. He's gone to acting schools. He has a very established acting career. He's worked opposite Will Smith. He's worked opposite Johnny Depp. He's done a fantastic job. To a man, every guy has said to me they love working with Michael Bentt.
What is it like to have Michael, who knows boxing, who was a boxer, direct?
I've known Mike for years, and you know, it's like it's gonna be a lot of fun working with him. And then you got somebody who understands boxing, who knows the craft and understand what the fighters go through.
He knows the inside outs of the people, how to relax them, become real. You know, let them be themselves, and you know that's a gift.
He gets me, you know. He's very personable. He has his what he wants. He knows exactly what he wants, and sometimes I fear I'm not good enough, you know. But he brings it out of me.
To be able to get an actor who's green, maybe not be as seasoned as some of the other actors, take him be able to take him from A to Z or from A to J is very gratifying.
Common Connections. That's next on the Game 365. Compared to most, this cast may be a bit short on experience, but one thing is clear when watching them rehearse. They have a deep connection with the material.
Listen to me, son. Hit him with your left hand. Now get in there. Get this fight over with.
What about this play? What's it mean to you?
Oh, man. It's an Irish-based play, obviously, but I can relate to it. You know, it's about triumph, failure, parental abuse, alcoholism. I can relate to that.
What do you mean? I told you, I was there.
I had some very dark moments after I retired from boxing. You know, and the only thing that filled that void for me was acting, expression. You know, and so I can relate to it on that level, and also just the human level. You know.
Are you surprised now you're in this play about boxing? And how can you relate to this fighter, an Irish fighter from New York?
Well, the thing is, you know, with this sport, with the fighters today, I mean, well, fighters, period, you know, it's a ghetto sport. So for a fighter to come out and just be tough and rough and giving it all they got, it's like, wow.
But yet in this play, you guys, I watched you rehearse a little bit earlier. It's almost like you're practicing diction, articulation. When you were fighting, there's no articulation.
What we do here is we bring out, you know, the aggression, but in words. Like in the corner when I talk to the fighter, you know, saying certain things that makes him click.
When you guys are rehearsing, I'm watching a bunch of guys up there who at one time or another threw a punch.
Yeah.
Every now and then, in whatever atmosphere you're working in, people they can lose their temper. Imagine if all you guys started throwing punches at once up there. Could it possibly happen?
That wouldn't happen. Well, actually, a fighter just needs to hit someone once and they go down, but they're all fighters, so who knows?
That's right. That's what I was wondering.
All jokes aside, every member of the ensemble, including first-year actor John Duddy, is committed to painting a full picture of the complex life of a boxer.
It's just you and that guy. I'm gonna try to kill each other for all those people. The guys with $1,000 suits, the broads, and movie stars.
What this play brings to the forefront is what behind the scenes. And the fact that Madison Square Garden and him being a fighter there, no challenging for the title, I think that as big as that was in his life, and for us, the people looking in, there was much more going on underneath that. And I think that's probably the story of a lot of fighters. We get to see the finished article in the ring, and we don't actually know what they came from. No, what did they do the days, the weeks leading up to this big event that we all see on a TV screen.
Anybody that's ever played a sport or anything else, before they go into the arena that they've chosen, they have butterflies. Then they know they're ready, whether it's in a ring or any other endeavor in sports. Do you get butterflies when you get on the stage?
I got yeah, you do. You have that, the nervousness, you know, that little bit of excitement. Honestly, I've been used to having that feeling for so long. I think if I never had it, I'm not doing what I should be doing. You know, they have that little bit of weariness. Oh no, what if I mess up? What if I fail? That wee bit of intimidation, getting on there and knowing again that, you know, this is my scene, this is my moment. I can't mess it up. You know, there's no safety nets here. And I like that challenge. I like challenging myself. And, you know, as I say, at least in this, I don't get black eyes or bloody noses.
I was going to ask you, what do you think is worse? Getting hit in the ring or forgetting a line?
I don't know yet. I'll let you know whenever I forget my lines.
It's a pleasure.